I am your host, Michael McFadden, and how many people can honestly say that was an awesome video? So shout out to that dude up there. Hey, welcome. We got an amazing show for you today. We got some great speakers in here today. And once again, thank you to Brian for allowing me to host his inaugural financial conference. Appreciate that, Terrance. Thank you. Hosting his inaugural event. We got some, like I mentioned, some awesome speakers today. We got some awesome awards to give out today. Inventors, entrepreneurs. This room is full of knowledge. And today, from now until we finish this thing, hopefully you are empowered to take that next step in your next journey of life. Now, a couple of things about Brian that I know is that he is a supporter. If you have a vision or a dream or whatever it is you want to do, if Brian sees that you go hard for it, he will support that dream, and that's why all of us are in this building today. Now, a couple of facts that I know about Brian, and he wrote them down to make sure I reiterated facts. I know how Brian is. One, he from New Orleans, from Louisiana. Big. Just a reminder, the home opener of the Atlanta Falcons this year. The game is going to be Sunday, September 21st. Not that I got it marked on my calendar or anything, but I just want to let you know I know that date at the new the real Mercedes Stadium. Brian has been an entrepreneur for since he was 13 years old. He started this a long time ago, but he's still doing it today. He's never worked a regular job for 11 months, and he got in there and said, nah, this ain't for me. And today, he has offices all around the world doing what he does. So shout out to Richboi and everything that he does. But for those that want to know a little bit more, who is Richboi?
Richboi. Who is Brian Joubert? Richboi. Entrepreneur. Author of 3 books. 20 years in the tax business. He has helped thousands of businesses and individuals be progressive. He's traveled to all 7 continents, the 7 ancient wonders of the world, and all 50 states. He's titled the #1 hit. This is Brian Joubert. Richboi.
People that have information, knowledge, resources, connections, you've got to stand in front of people. And I get up top, I throw the rope back down, and I pull somebody else back up. And when that person get on top, they throw the rope. We got to throw the rope.
Brian Joubert. Richboi.
My goal is to show you how to start, run, and grow a business from the inside out. I'm going to help or assist 10 people become financially and socially successful and independent in the next 2 to 3 years. To get to the next level, you've got to be in the game. If you're not in the game, you can't win. You have to charge with your work. It says you charge with your work and don't apologize for it. If you're looking to get your stuff done correctly, if you're looking not to look over your back, everybody's not overpriced. We just not basically getting hookups. Excuses, they are for the people who don't want it bad enough. Don't wait for the perfect moment. Take a moment and make it perfect. Stop waiting. Stop waiting. If you want to do things, do it now. If one thing life has shown us is it can end at any time. It's no guarantees. Get your business going.
Brian Joubert. Richboi.
Really interested in caring how businesses operate internally.
Ladies and gentlemen, the only person that I know personally that has visited all of the continents, all 50 states, and the ancient wonders of the world, and the only brother or person that I know that has his own national day, which is National Support a Close Friend Day. Ladies and gentlemen, big round of applause for Mr. Richboi.
I do appreciate all of the people that was timely. You know, because that means I would have had another half of room texting me saying I'm on the way. And I can't answer all that. So, you know, thank y'all for being here, finding the hotel properly. You know, that means a lot. First of all, I just want to acknowledge, you know, Mr. Michael McFadden, given that this is going to be his first and last time hosting. And we start having Saints jokes and Falcon jokes that get you cut immediately. So thank you for your one-time hosting. I appreciate that. Also, I want to say something else too, because I probably shot this. I'm gonna shoot this cat out a lot, you know, during this conference though. And that's Mr. Ed Womack back there behind that bright camera in my face. And I say it because that video wasn't up to my standards of some of the things, but he had to do some patchwork. So when I shoot him, if it's anything in the quality of that, it's not a reflection of him. He came and patched some old stuff up that we, you know, just had to put together. So I do want to put that out, so when I be pushing them and y'all be like, an old fuzzy picture up there. So that's not Ed though, but when we come back in about another week though, y'all gonna be like, that's Ed right there. So I do want to acknowledge that and make sure, because I ain't putting people in bad lights. All right, y'all, so once again, like I said, I truly appreciate y'all being here this morning. This means a lot, you know, this conference in itself. And we're gonna get into the reasons behind the conference, the whys, the differences and everything. And so one of the differences that I want to speak on right away is I do a lot of conferences. You know, I do a lot of conferences. And I started this based on individuals needing information for one. But I said, you know what, when I give this, we're not going to make it monetary based. So it's not going to be all about getting the money. You know, it's going to be about giving the knowledge. You know, and so my thing is, I said, if I fund this myself, I can control it how I want to do so. You know, and one thing that I ask of y'all, you know, I truly, and I sincerely mean this, support the vendors. Support the vendors. You know, because a lot of conferences I go to, you have 75, 85 vendors, and that's because people want the money to cover their costs. You know, I'm not worried about that. The cost is taken care of. Support these people, man, and we really, because they first of all, they invested in themselves. So whenever you invest in yourself, that means a lot to me. That means a lot, you know. And so go to the tables, get the information, purchase, you know. So that means if you don't have to buy 3 of my books, if you can buy somebody else's.
Amen.
Oh, well, just one. That's it. You know, get somebody else stuff. You know, I ain't like that. I ain't live like that. You know, and so, but that's why we're here today, y'all, to really create changes. And one of the things, if you follow me on social media, which I ask you to do so, which on Twitter and Instagram, you can follow me at Richboi Jupe, #1. That's RICHBOIJUP, #1. And if you follow me, you'll see that I have one of my hashtags be change the view. And so that's what we're going to talk about a little bit, about changing the view. Because if we don't change the view, especially in our community, we're going to have a lot of problems for a long time. You know, and the view comes from so many different ways. You know, and so that video, you know, from Prince EA, if y'all was wondering who that was, the guy's called Prince EA. It's powerful, man, powerful. But that piece was actually called, you know, Working to Live or Living. So what are you doing? Are you working to live? You know, are you living to work? The thing is that you got to enjoy life. You got to enjoy the moments. So at what point do you get to that point? You know, and that's what we're looking to do today. We want to change the view of how your vacation look. Your vacation is, I got to do these reports on the beach and find an excuse saying that, oh, at least I'm on the beach. You know, but you can't enjoy it. You know, and so changing the view is not having America and most people at 76% living paycheck to paycheck. That's crazy. That's 3/4 of the people. And I don't want y'all looking around counting like 1, 2, 3, that person, you know, like those 3 next to me, you know, no, we ain't in here for that. You know, but that's crazy. That's
close to 100%. I know some people in here are round off people. And to them, that's 100%. It's like everybody living paycheck to paycheck, but that's crazy. We gotta change the view of that. We gotta change the view, man. We can't live like that. You can't, life is all about joy. And you only get one to do it, so we gotta do that. The thing is that we're here today to change the view of small businesses. They say that 80%, that's crazy, 80% of small businesses fail within 5 years. And 50% fail within 3 years. You basically just created yourself some debt. That's all you did. We got to change the view of that, though, because businesses don't need to be failing when there's so many resources out here. It's so many powerful people in this room. And so when you talk about Richboi really interested in caring how businesses operate internally, I mean that. I love entrepreneurship. I love the social freedom of it. So we don't have no excuses in this room today not to have our business thriving, not to connect with the right people. So when we leave today, if you don't even met a few people that's gonna get you to the next level, that's on you. Because all I can do is bring them here for you. And it's how bad you want it. We have to change the view of 1/3 of America have no savings. No savings. We're talking about stress. We're talking about mental health. Know where a lot of that come from? No savings. No cushions. No safety nets. So when I get ready to fall and I don't know where I'm gonna land, I'm stressing, which creates so many problems in so many areas. That's a whole other conference that we could talk about that stress, especially financial stress, can cause. We gotta change that view. And of that 1/3, that small percentage that have a savings, they say that it's less than $1,000. That's probably one transmission issue away from no savings. We gotta change the view. And I don't say that to talk about nobody in this room. I say that because if you are any of those people, you need to connect. You need to connect with somebody. We need to change the view of the way we get treated by police, other people. And you know how you change that? You create value for yourself. You create value. If people see you in a different light, they treat you differently. And a lot of that is through economics. We can say money ain't important, and you sit there and lie to yourself. Money is extremely important. And when you have value, people will not do some of the things that they do to us.
Amen.
And I'm not just talking about physically, but when we walk into banks to get loans and lines of credits, part of the injustice is in that. We don't get treated the same because we're not viewed the same. So until we change the view, it will be no equality. That's why we're here today. We got to change the way our black men are seen.
Amen.
We got to change the way. And a lot of that is through connections, collaborating, uplifting, and strengthening one another. When we talk about the phrase, collaboration beats competition, that's real. I mean that. I stole that from my mentor Rob right there. But that's the nature of the game, because Rick stole it from me, and then Glenn stole it from him and me, so, but the thing about it is, it's a powerful phrase.
Amen.
Collaboration beats competition. There's strength in unity. If we change the view, and we'll talk about that with one of my organizations, because if 25 black men walk into a place together, people see you in a whole different light. And so that's why we're here today. It's so important, man. And then we got to change the way our teams are viewed. We got to change the way our teams are viewed. Because even the best of our best teams are still looked at as teens, which I know they're great. And then when they're looked at that way, they're looked at as a liability. And that's why it's so easy to get rid of them. Because whatever you see as a liability, you're trying to get rid of. Whatever you see that has no value, you don't appreciate. So if you lose it, you feel as though you lost nothing. That's how people look at us. We gotta change the view. And believe it or not, it's 100 people that have 100 different ways that we need to do that. But I truly believe it's through economics. It's through economics. Everything in this country is about money. It comes back to that. And so we'll clarify those statements. But the thing is that with money you create value. With value you create situations. With situations you create control. And when you can control things, you make it look like you want it to look. And then the dynamics of living, lifestyle, quality of life changes. And that's why we're here today. So thank y'all again. I appreciate y'all for giving me this opportunity, for giving me this open statement. Tanya, where's my timer? Am I good?
It's me.
All right, there. Oh, well, when your big flash call?
You got time.
Oh. You got 2 minutes, because I'll be gone. I didn't overlap somebody else's time, so, I can do this. But one of the things is, though, like I say, this conference, again, when I talk about being different, I did this, and we'll get into that of what's going to be different. But part of it is that because nobody dictates how we do this, we can come up here and we can joke, we can laugh, we can have fun, and be serious at the same time. And that's what I want this to be about. The difference in this conference, one of the things is, like I said, I sincerely, I want my vendors to walk out here and say, Brian, can I pay you for next year? Right now.
Yeah.
Can I pay you for next year? Because it was just that valuable. I want people to call me, text me, email me, because I told all my volunteers, all of the vendors, the speakers, everybody, I want you to be extremely engaging. Because nobody up here is above nobody else.
Amen.
So I don't care what award they get, how much they speak, whatever information they give you that was powerful, they still not above you. So I want them to be engaging, and that's one of the issues that I have with conferences I go to. When folks sit on the stage, it's like they get off the stage and it's like they the powerhouse of the conference. And I'm like, really? And I just had to fund you with something? Come on, but we not there though. We coming together, we're networking, we're collaborating, we're using our resources. So once again, thank y'all, and I'll be seeing y'all up here again. All right. I'll see y'all. I had to do that little walk off and come back there. You gotta make it seem like. So that's how we do. Like I said, we gonna put all of the. Somebody get that on Instagram. How you be doing that? What they call that?
A boomerang.
Boomerang. Yeah, boomerang. All right, y'all. So this in itself, man, is amazing. Once again, that we came to this. It's here. It's actually here, though, and it's a beautiful thing because pretty much all of the tables are full, and so that warms my heart. That actually warms my heart, and that ain't even including the folks that's coming late. Did I say that out loud? Sometimes I be talking loud, and I don't even realize it, though. But the beautiful part of this is that, in all my successes, all the things that I've achieved, the one thing that I do realize is I didn't do this alone. I didn't do this alone. And the other thing I understood was I am not a subject matter expert at everything. But what I do know is what I don't know. And I know that I'm not a fitness guru. But I do know fitness is very important to success. And I know that you got to take care of your body to be able to show up. And so when I met this cat, man, can I use words like cat?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I'm not politically correct on everything, so I still have my New Orleans slang, and so I don't be trying to fix my words up, so don't disregard all of that. All right, so when I met this dude, man, like instantly, I'm like, this dude is genuine. He's genuine. He's necessary. You know, and he's about his business. You know, and I love people that have stories. You know, and when you start talking about going from one space of being in your life and not a good place to going to your greatness, people need to know about that. People need to hear that. Michael McFadden.
Yes, sir.
Okay, well, no, and I actually, y'all, I might be on the wrong thing. I got Rhonda, that's why I'm about to get Terrance all up in here. No, yeah, I see that now. Why y'all didn't have that trick on that thing? Did you type this? No. Okay. All right, so we're going to back this thing up. You heard? All right, y'all, so let me back this up. In fact, this young lady is my financial advisor. And one thing that I had to learn was the more you make, the more you had to concentrate on keeping it.
I know that.
You know, and I know that there's people out here that do this. I stay in my lane. You know, but I've been through several financial advisors. And I can guarantee you I've never had nobody make me feel as comfortable with giving them my money as this young lady. You know, and she, believe me, calls me on a dime and say, Brian, this is happening, that's happening. You need that kind of person in your corner. When they dealing with your money and they telling you what trends are going on, where your money can grow, you know, we got to change the view on financing and funding. That's why I wanted her here. But she wouldn't be here if I didn't think she was a great person. You know, not just a great financial advisor, but she's a great person, and y'all need to connect with her, you know, and she's my client, she's a friend, you know, and she's basically, she turned up on the entrepreneur cruise on Lake Lanier too, y'all, so don't be fooled. You know, so I want to welcome to the stage Miss Rhonda Jones, y'all.
Today, and as Brian said, I have a passion for helping people be better. And I want to start off today with actually giving you a story. I want to tell you about a story of a teenage girl. She was super smart, all A student in honors classes, and she started dating. She fell in love, and she had a kid. So when she had this kid, some of her mentors told her, oh my, you have really ruined your life. You will just be on public assistance, a single mom, taking care of that baby. You should have known better. One of her favorite teachers told her, well, I'm so disappointed in you, and I want to see what you're going to be in about 10 years. So this young lady, she had goals. She had already an idea of what she wanted to do. She was college bound, she had scholarships, and she went ahead and she did it. And she did it with her kid in tow. So even though she didn't go to the college that she wanted to, you know, like her top college, she did go to college, she got her degree. And when she got her degree, she went back to teach at the high school where the teacher told her that she wasn't going to be anything but a single mom or welfare. They sat in the teacher's lounge and they talked, and she told her how proud she was of her, that she overcame. So then she went on to teach university level classes. And from there, she joined the administration of the university. And she was responsible for over 100 staff members. One of the classes that this young lady taught was a business course. So she was teaching business to entrepreneurs. She was teaching business to students who wanted to, major in business and become entrepreneurs. And then she started teaching a finance class. And that finance class taught corporate finance, but it also taught personal finance. And so some of her students would come back to her and they would say, they're talking over my head. They're making me feel like I haven't really earned the right to sit there and have a financial advisor in front of them. So that's my story. That's how I became a financial advisor. When I heard enough of those stories of people saying that they want to build wealth, they want to, become successful business owners, not be a statistic like what Brian shared earlier, which is a very true statistic, is that in 3 years, business owners tend to get frustrated, and we'll talk about why. And I wanted to be on the other side of the table. I wanted to be able to talk to someone and hear their goals and help them to understand. And when I look back over my life, not only did I have a child as a teenager, I was homeless at one point, living in my car, going to college, full-time job, and going to school. But I look back over those things and I say, all of that was with purpose.
Amen.
God had a purpose for those situations. And I always had a goal, and I always had a plan. And even when God will take you off that plan and you don't really understand why, and I say, God, take you off the plan, because it may not feel like Him at the time, but it is. Because He's purposing you with the nuggets you need to be able to help someone else. So what I said I wanted to do was, as I climb up the mountain and have a view of something different, I'm going to remember what that journey was going up that mountain, so I can reach down and help someone navigate through those different terrain to get to where they're trying to go. So my presentation today, it's going to talk about lifestyle and wealth and all that stuff. We're going to talk about investments and all of that. But more importantly, I want you to understand that we need to start with what we're trying to achieve and not let naysayers, not let life circumstances, any of that change what you're trying to do. So we're going to look at rules of the road. Is this the forward? The red button? Green. The green button.
Well, you like me, you do finance, not technology.
There you go. There you go. All right. So I am height challenged, and can everybody see me in the back? You guys see me in the back. But I don't like to stand behind the podium per se. I like to move around a little bit. So if you can't see me or you can't hear me, just let me know. So the first thing is, I want us to, you have something in front of you, whether it's the agenda or you brought a notebook with you, and I want you to really think about what motivated you to come to today's conference. Everybody came with something that they want to walk away with, and I want you to think about where you are today. And where are you trying to be? I have some giveaways. I had a bag. I think my bag is over there. Yeah. What you're going to hear today is there's several speakers that are going to speak about goals. So I'm not going to steal anyone's thunder. But I will say that goals, if you have goals in mind and you keep them in front of you, it helps you to stay on course. It helps you to stay on the road. And our friend Renault says GPS is God's positioning system. I want to add something to that and say, even in the tough circumstances, that's God's purposed situation. Because you're going to use it later. You're going to use it later. If I started out with a silver spoon in my mouth and didn't know how to be able to get my bootstraps back on and get back on the road and do the things that I needed to do, I wouldn't be able to, from experience, tell someone how to do it. When a business owner is in front of me and they look great on the outside, but we look at their numbers and they're drowning in debt and they're frustrated. And some business owners, you may not know because they're in that first couple years, they're trying to make it happen and they're sacrificing a lot of things. I've talked to business owners who they, like me, they didn't have a place to stay. They're staying with friends and all that kind of stuff, but I'm able to meet them where they are and help them to understand how to get it back on track, okay? So my first question is, and I'm going to give away some things. All right. So I want you to think about where you are and where you would like to be. So my first question is, who knows why the Weight Watchers program works for people? I've never used it, but I know the program works. Okay, Joe, why does it work?
It works because it makes you focus on your calorie intake, and it's a point system, and so you have to stay within that point system daily.
Mm-hmm.
So it helps your mentality, it helps your mind focus on what you're eating, and so you can substitute the bad for the good.
Yes, 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 yes.
Maybe.
Very good,
I
very
used
good.
it. I
So,
lost 15 pounds.
Joy, she's also one of our work folks.
Yay!
But you get a journal.
Thank you.
You get a journal.
Yeah.
The reason that it works, just as Joy said, it's going to make you focus and pay attention. First of all, you are writing things down. That's why she's getting a journal. You're writing things down. I want you to really, as you go throughout today, write stuff down. Okay? Write about where you are, where you want to be, how are you going to get there, and most importantly, how are you going to stay on track? Okay? So I'm a financial advisor and I help people with their money, but that's where we start. We start with, why do you want to invest? Investing is not just, I want to put in $100, I want to get $200. There's a reason why you have that money that you want to grow. There's a purpose and a reason behind it. So I want you to think about that first when you're thinking about your money. Now, the name of this segment is Lifestyles of the Rich and Famous. Folks who have money, they know what that goal is for the money. They don't commingle money a lot of times. Money has its buckets, okay? So money for retirement, money for the business. Brian mentioned the emergency fund, money for the kids to go to college. All of that is separated and it's not commingled. Here's what I tend to see with my clients who are trying to get there, but you know, we're working together to get there, is that they commingle it, and as it's growing, what do you think they do with it? They spend it. They spend it. That's the other thing, that those who create wealth, because I'm going to tell you the difference between rich and wealth in just a second, create wealth, they let it sit, they let it stay, they let it do what it's supposed to do for that particular goal. Okay? The Weight Watchers analogy is you also have an accountability partner. Mm-hmm. So you go in and you check in, and even if it's an incremental ounce, it's just an ounce, they celebrate it. They celebrate it. They celebrate the small wins, which motivates you to keep going. So I tell people all the time,